Hello Griffin Scoopers, welcome back into our cosy little sound booth, the place where we like to do deep dives, looking at character analysis, the various life lessons and energies that are running around a person's life, why they came into this world, what they came here to learn. So the deep dive today is going to be on Doria Ragland, which is Meghan Markle's mother, of course, quite an elusive character. Who is she? We're going to try and find out through the cards. So before I get started, everything that comes out of my mouth today onto the table is purely for entertainment purposes only. So we've got a lot to get through. We've got some cards, charms, we've got oracle cards and some pendulum questions. So let's start. Who is Doria then? Well, her character card, I probably do two parts to this because these can be quite in-depth deep dives. So her character cards are the Moon card and also the Hermit. So the Moon is a card of illusion and deception, a time when nothing really appears as it seems. It's a card of great imagination. Great writers come from this card, and it can also be quite dangerous if one doesn't balance the imagination with some kind of realism grounded in reality. It can present truths that bubble up from the unconscious, things that we try to push down, get away from us. No, they bubble up, and it tends to be things that we don't want to admit to ourselves. Hence the Moon card can, signify lies and that kind of thing. So its association also that it has is with mystery and with magic, and another worldly kind of power, a beacon, if you will, for witches, especially around the full moon. And it's almost like a silver key, the full moon, unlocking the unconscious, the intuition, and where the veil is very thin between dreams and reality. The moon is a card of the night, and thus it conceals more than it actually reveals. And its light doesn't reveal truth as such. It kind of distorts it. It's like, say if you were to look into a pond, a pool of water, then what's there reflected gets a little bit distorted. So in mythic terms, Doria as the moon is the shadow lunar mother, the witch of the threshold, cloaked in secrecy, watching as the public wanders through the fog of illusion, which she quietly sustains and keeps going. She's quite a haunting presence, I would say, whose power is felt more in mystery than in clarity. Sources allegedly suggest that, I'm going to call her Doris, I think, rather than Doria. Doris was mysteriously absent or minimally involved in Meghan's life during certain periods, particularly her childhood, early adulthood, appearing, then disappearing, just like a moon behind the clouds. So no one concretely seems to know why the disappearance, the secrecy, the retreat into the shadows, and it kind of leaves people and media to speculate about her motives and intentions for doing so. So we see a crow, if I get that right up into camera, that's locked into a cage there, interestingly enough. And some have speculated whether she actually went away, did time for various fraudulent things. Disclaimer. Whatever the case, Doris has maintained an extremely private life. So she rarely appears in public. She does the odd jig about at a Beyonce concert or gets photographed next to a Kardashian. But generally speaking, even major milestones like family events are often shrouded in silence. So currently, Doris remains largely unseen, surrounded in mystery, and speculation is swirling about a possible falling out with her daughter Meghan. So the clouds have come over the moon once again, leaving her presence obscured and her true intentions unknown. So really this only fuels or pours petrol on rumours and questions about that veil of clouds that keeps her hidden from view, and whether her guidance as well with Meghan as a moon mother has been actual guidance that's been nurturing, or whether it's been self-serving for Doria. So the moon's repeating cycles mirror how Doris alternates between visibility and withdrawal. She repeats this kind of lunar rhythm across decades of her life. So her moon cycles are repetitive and they're predictable patterns and habits. Doris moves within her own cycles of what benefits her positioning herself, like whether it's financial gain, that will follow quietly. You know, she's driven by some kind of a hunger for money. Beneath that serene facade lies quite a mysterious figure. And she can be quite calculated, I feel, as well, kind of almost circling like a crow, watching for financial opportunity and then swooping in when gain is near, ever calculating, ever observant. Crows are extremely observant. So note how in the big full moon here, we actually get we only get half a crow, don't we? We can't see the full crow there. So yes, it's in silhouette, but we see the head, but it's like one leg, half a body. We don't get the full picture. These are just pieces of what the world sees of her. This is what's kind of like projected to the world, which is incomplete, only observed in kind of carefully projected fragments is Doris. The rest is secret. So just like her ambitions and her financial drives and her relationships, we don't get the full picture. It's a selective kind of illumination of who she is. The rest, veiled, hidden, and it kind of remains in darkness for the unsure observers, public and media, to ascertain what's real, what else is there, kind of thing. So it creates an image of a woman who wields invisibility as a tool while she quietly maintains her advantage. Her life has trained her to move in silence, and silence is something that would also go with her other character card, which is the Hermit. So who can forget how Doria sat perched like a solitary hermit-like figure in the cold at Meghan's wedding to Harry? She observed without fully engaging, and her calm, serene demeanour masking quite a strategic detachment. So the Hermit's lantern here shines only a very narrow path, and similarly Doris revealed only just enough of her presence to be seen while keeping her motives and intentions carefully hidden. So always apart, always watchful, quietly asserting control from the margins rather than the centre. And a kind of a silent, steely influence. I'm just thinking about that mantra. I'm just trying to get it right. What was it? It was something like, don't give away anything for free, is what she imparted to Meghan. Don't give away the milk for free, or don't give away anything for free, something like that. So Doris is not a sage hermit, but much more of, I would say, a cunning manipulator, appearing calm and very much spiritually grounded, while at the same time not to be underestimated. So Doris embodies, I would say, the shadow hermit, a figure who retreats into solitude, but not to gain wisdom, which is the life lesson of the hermit, to gain wisdom and self-mastery, and to reflect as well. But her retreat seems more about kind of obscuring her true motives. So her life relates to all the life lessons in the 9, because the hermit governs the 9. So let's go through these. So we'll start with the 9 of Pentacles then. So here we see Doris sat amongst a whole pile of pentacles, financially independent and materially secure as well, self-sufficient. Some have said, disclaimer, after fleecing Thomas Markle Sr., the privilege though, the lifestyle, whether provided by another or whomever is holding the cash, she will seem to kind of side with that person, whether she's enjoying the fruits of her own labour or she has the fruits of somebody else's. So she has value for material gain and positioning herself around influence and money. So the life lesson or warning with the 9 of Pentacles is about valuing material, this is what she seems to do, value material gain above real connection. That's the worry there. Consider the costs of the isolation it brings, the fragility of status built behind veils of secrecy, having to kind of like go under the radar, if you will, rather than into the spiritual retreat of the hermit. So the sun in this card would symbolize her happiness for her financial gains. It's come at a cost though of transparency and her own authenticity. In the 9 of Wands, this would speak to how Doris has had to really fight and guard her privacy in a world that seeks to expose and judge her, hardened by circumstance and persistent beyond in safeguarding her position, vigilant, guarding. She's carefully constructed this fence here, and she stands kind of battle worn but still unwavering, and her outward appearance is part of this defense, that kind of serenity and peace that she can carry. I would say the life lesson warns that constant vigilant and distrust, relentless defense, holding so tightly, look onto that wand there, her defense mechanism is very isolating, because it can build walls so tall that they become prisons and missed opportunities for authentic connections. In the Nine of Swords, so if we were to pull that veil back away from her calm, serene exterior, then this is what we get. This is what we would see. This is the card of nightmares, also traditionally known as the card of night terrors. And her inner world appears like a maze of obsessive thoughts, imagined scenarios. If exposed, this side of Doria would reveal a figure perpetually alert, driven by anxiety, imagined threats, and endless calculations of advantage. So the mental tension kind of ensuring, as far as she's concerned, that she kind of remains untouchable, and it brings, excuse me, endless sleepless nights and panic. And notice as well how we get another cage. So we had a cage in the moon up here with the crow in it, and this one's an empty cage. And the empty cage kind of hangs as a silent symbol of confinement, the internal prisons that she constructs, haunted by what might happen, what could happen, maybe if all of her is revealed. So the life lesson with this one is that true peace comes from facing your fears, not hiding them in the moon's shadows, because the moon will have a way of allowing the unconscious self to kind of bubble up and keep triggering this kind of behavior, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, all of that. In the last one then, in the Nine of Cups, this is a card of wish fulfillment, but it's a particular kind of wish fulfillment. It's not, believe it or not, like you wish for £1 million, then it lands in your lap. It's an emotional wish fulfillment. You know, you wish for a beautiful, happy family that you can invite to dinner, this kind of thing. This crow here, it casts her as a figure that loves indulgence while keeping her generosity tightly controlled. Her motto, remember, that she passed on to her daughter was, don't give away anything for free. So she is enjoying abundance, Doris says, but shares little to none of what's in these cups. It's indulgence and wealth hoarded, not shared. So she is the Nine of Cups in shadow. Her life lesson here is that fulfillment cannot come from kind of grasping and grabbing, holding tightly onto your advantage and everything in this cup, in these different cups. Without generosity or sharing, then those cups may look full on the surface, but they're actually empty of any kind of true emotional meaning, connection, and value. Because having excess without being generous is hollow. It's just a facade of abundance, masking a lack of true fulfillment. So she loves comfort and money, but is quite tight-fisted with it. She ain't pouring into anyone else's cup from these cups. They're clutched close, indulgence kept all for herself. Me. Defences that are built high, worries that she can't let sleep. You know, those sleepless nights in the night terrors card, they're well earned. She's not giving this up for anything. And thus, she's not learnt the life lessons of being that wise hermit sage on the mountain. She's she's just more like the observant crow in the tree, making sure that she sees you before you see her. It's that kind of a thing. Okay, let's get into some What's the Vibe cards. Anything else, please, Spirit, that you can tell us about Doria? Show us the energy, please. Show us the energy. Show us the energy. So we'll wait till a faller comes, because that's the one that Spirit wants us to see. Show us the energy. What can you tell us about Doria, please? We've got one. Amazing! Look at that. I told you. When we ripped down the veil, this is what we'd see. We've got nightmares on this card. Shattered, broken, nightmares and failures. Very on point. Okay, let's get into some pendulum readings. So, you know the drill. It's a right for a yes, a left for a no, an up and down for a maybe, and a stop for a block. So my first question would be, has she ever been incarcerated? Has she ever been incarcerated? Disclaimer, disclaimer. All for entertainment purposes only. That is a yes. So let's do a backup question. Has Doris ever had serious encounters with the law? Has she ever had serious encounters with the law? All for entertainment purposes only, and that says a yes. Does Doria place money above love and loyalty? Does Doria place money above love and loyalty? Oh my God, look at that. We've got another yes. Okay, all yeses to those. Let's get into some charms. Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got 3 charms today. This one's interesting. A button. Look at that. It's like not one shield, but 2 shields. Now that reminds me of this card that we were talking about. Being on guard, having the defences up all the time. But it's like 2 shields in one. Interesting. The next one is a glittery snake. So snakes can sometimes be, when the snake is actually eating its tail, it can be about eternity, can't it? But this one's not eating its tail, so make of that what you will. And then we've got a skull and crossbones. This always reminds me of pirates. I did draw that on my coffee jar, actually, to stop making me drink so much coffee. I don't know what to make of that. It feels toxic, doesn't it? Drop your comments, please, in the box below. I'll be waiting to hear. I always read all of them. Don't like that last one very much. Guys, let's clear the energy. Let's raise the vibration higher, higher, higher. Okay, if anybody would like a private reading with me, then do get in touch. My email address is in the description box. There will be a part 2 to this reading because they're deep dives. They're so long. It's too long to put in one reading. So we'll put the next one out in the next day or so. Okay, you have a blessed rest of the day. Fly well, my friends, and I'll see you on the next. Bye for now.